Welcome to Terranscapes Rapid Fire Critique number 2. We'll start the clock and we'll get going here. This is from Phil, and Phil has sent me a couple pieces of terrain pictures that he's done, and you can, no harm in, pimping your blog or wherever this is normally showcased. So kudos to you. Help people find it. Nice thing about the way this is shot, though, is a nice, undistracting background and fairly evenly lit. So we don't have a lot of heavy shadows hiding things. And it's got a little, darker end here, which is actually kind of unusual. I don't know how he's lighting this, but it must be reflecting off of this white background. And that's kind of a flip. Normally we see the bright in the front, but it's nice. It kind of draws your eye. Anyway, that's lighting. We're not here to talk about lighting. So he sent me a couple pictures, and right off the bat, my first thought of this is that it has what I consider, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very clean feel. It's very, God, all right, I'm going to pause it for a second while I think about a word. Oh, I started it all. All right, well, you get extra time. What is the word I'm looking for? Not type. Maybe the word I'm looking for is polished. It's a polished look rather than going for a true realistic look, if that makes any sense. Where you have nice bright colors and crisp lines and, bright colors without, there's weathering, right? We see shading in amongst the bricks. I don't want to say that there isn't shading or weathering, but just to say it's a style is what I'm looking for of terrain, which I think actually looks really good on the tabletop because it's got a very strong impression with very strong edges and lines and colors. What do I like about this piece beyond that? First, it's just nice to have this at an angle. I don't know whether this is erupting from the ground, whether it's crashed, whatever. It looks maybe like it's some hybrid of the two. Maybe it's erupted and has been then attached to the ground for chemical exchange or something. I'm not sure. But what's nice, though, is to have that nice angle. It breaks up you don't want to have it straight up and down. Adds more interest to the eye. Nice idea of the cracking here to give it some appearance that there's a glow inside, right? And the energy is sort of trying to break out of whatever kind of shielding this is. And the brass always looks good. War Machine, you can't have enough brass in that game, and it just always looks good. And he's got a really nice crisp highlight on this. I'm not a paint critiquer, but I mean it is part of terrain, so that was my thought there. It's a cute little sign, actually. I'd like to know how he made that. I like these circles. Those are nice and clean. Oh, I can see. So he's got some banding around this that he has cut out. A little hard for me to see if that's real wood or not, but anyway, nice shape. Little tiny detail like that adds a lot when you're looking at a piece. If I had any improvements, and it might be improvements, well, okay, wait a minute. Look at me, I'm getting ahead of myself. I would add some more of this brightness coming through here to try to give it a little bit of like there's that light coming out here. If this is a crack in the vessel, then I would need to see that maybe accented more because it really looks like just a crack in the brass. So maybe a little like reverse OSL, maybe with an airbrush, and just try to give the impression that there's a little illumination inside trying to peer through this green ichor. That tricky to do. I don't know, but that's what I would want to see. One thing, and it actually goes against this style, so this is really more of a matter of taste. I usually like to see softer edges on flock because it looks a little patchy, but in this style, I think it works. So, something to consider. Again, looking at this style, it's hard to find a complaint for it. I always find bendy straws a little daring to use in terrain because I'm always afraid they're going to bend or break from handling. So One thing I've seen, though, is other people fill these with an internal rod to give them some rigidity. So that might be a good idea if you haven't already done that, just to make it a little more, a little more durable. And boy, it's tricky. I like this highlight, but if I start to look at it with a real eye, remember this is very stylized, I feel like it's going up to a highlight. This isn't a highlight of the stone, right? Because we'd see it in other areas. It's more like a highlight from the eruption. And so maybe this should be green to match the energy coming out of this device. Or maybe there's a secondary light emitting area here, which is giving a sort of OSL look. It didn't jump out at me at first, but now that I look at it, that was something that I might want to do. Let me see here. I'm going to take one more quick peek. I know I'm a little over, especially since I reset the clock, but I'm going to try to be quick. 40K orc generator. Looking quickly here. Things I like. I like this color. I don't know. It's not gold, but it's not yellow. I don't know if it's metallic, but it's nice. Oh, that's me saying I'm supposed to be done. Oh, this is a CPU fan housing. Ah, very nice. I like that. Do you have the blades in there? Because I would like to see the blades in there. I think it would give it a nice feel. Hell, why not keep the whole thing assembled inside, wire it up to a 12-volt or it might even be a 9-volt power source and plug it in so you actually get this spinning during the game. You could probably adjust its spin rate by adjusting the voltage. That would be nice, huh? And things that I might improve if I were to, I don't know. I'd like see a little cleaner edge here. I don't know what's happening there. If it's just a little overspray, if this was airbrushed maybe. But if you have a building transitioning to a very clean base, a good clean line there helps to stand it out. Like, here's nice and clean. Is this... I'm a little confused about this. At first I thought of it as barbed wire without barbs, but now I'm looking at here and I'm thinking this is maybe a like a power conduit or an antenna or something like that, because it does look like it's painted along the top here in a brighter color, maybe like it's radiating energy at the top of it. It's tricky with orcs. I think even with orcs, I want to see these spirals be smooth and even. Rather than having these little and these little in here. If it is conducting energy, I don't know. It's orcs. All right. Hey, it's my opinion. How would I do it? I'm a very clean builder. I try to build things clean. So I would like to see a nice spring coming through here. And the change to this smaller spring is great because it really, doesn't make it look, it brings interest to it, right? A little variety really shapes that up quite a bit. So that's a quick overview of that piece. Just want to thank Phil for submitting them. And if you are interested in submitting a piece of terrain to the Rapid Fire Critique, down here at this point there should be a series of addresses, and you can see the email address for the Rapid Fire Critique, the email address for the Q&As if you want to send me a question to answer later, and my Patreon site. And if you're not a patron and you want to be, you can go there. But if you're not a patron and you don't want to be, you should still go there, because I have been putting up some public stuff from time to time, and I have another monthly column due to come out any moment. So thanks for joining me. I always appreciate it, and stay tuned for another terranscapes rapid fire critique.